Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you're joining us on YouTube, hello to everyone watching us on YouTube's wave. Everyone wave. Russ, even you. Stop drinking your beer.
I did a preemptive wave.
It was a preemptive wave, but we were all continuing to sort of twitch our hands around. Anyway, if you're not watching us on the stream and you're listening to us on the podcast, hello to you lot as well. You've decided to go onto Spotify or to Apple Music or whatever they're calling it, whatever the kids are calling it these days, and do it there. And that's fine, that's your choice. Anyway, you join us on a dark and spooky night. But before I get to that, I'm going to introduce everyone. Dan, hello.
Hello, definitely Halloween.
Absolutely, definitely Halloween.
Yeah.
Just a few days afterwards.
Halloween.
Hello.
Duncan, hello. And Russ, hello.
Hail Satan.
Sup?
And of course, I'm Tom. So as I said, you join us on a dark and spooky night, Halloween. And we have decided that tonight is the night to resurrect, to defile that corpse and raise it from the dead. Redly Deadly is back. With this one we're calling it Redly Deadly 13, Redly Deadly the 13th, if you see what we did there. So that's our horror movie that we're going to be building for you over the course of tonight's stream and podcast. We're going to be pulling in the heroes from horror films, the bad guys, the ghosts, the ghouls, the demons, the whatever they are from the horror films as well. We're going to smash them together, making up a plot, and giving you that nice little baked muffin as an audio-visual treat. So with no further ado, I think there's some ground rules that Dan has, so I'm going to do what I usually do, is just put Dan on the spot and hand over to Dan. Dan?
There are like no rules this time. We're just going for it. We are.
Thanks,
just
Dan.
like it's.
So where have we been with Redly Deadly so far?
So we have done Redly Deadly 2 is where we started, in which we asked people to not ask about the first one, and then we covered the first one, and then the game.
Yeah, we did Redly Deadly the video game.
Yep.
Then we did Redly Deadly prequel.
We did. No, the prequel was the first one. Yeah.
I don't know what order we did these in, and it doesn't matter.
We did 2-1 video game.
Yeah, video game, and then
Rom-coms,
and now we're at the horror.
Which, by the way, the rom-com was my favourite title so far. Redly Deadly Deeply. I thought, genius.
Until now.
Redly Deadly 13, Redly Deadly the 13th.
Yeah.
So do we have any sort of plot framework for this one? Also, by now the cast of characters of Redly Deadly is in the low hundreds.
Yes.
So it's going to be something of an ensemble performance, and probably quite difficult to give everybody a narratively satisfying arc.
Well, I'm just going to throw out a bad guy, Vegetable Hitler. I think.
No, save that.
Save that one. Save that.
We have got something else in the pipeline which is incredibly niche. By the way, I wanted to change my name to Dan. I'll watch Tom suck your blood. Because you said I'll suck your blood. But if you look when it comes up, it just says Dan. I'll watch Tom suck you.
I think
luckily,
you can see the whole thing on the stream. It's fine.
Oh, that's a shame, actually.
It's a very sort of something of a 90s public convenience.
I mean, is that
you don't get quite so much cottaging graffiti these days, do you?
No,
that's something that you for some reason they don't fondly reminisce about on those Channel 4 TV shows. But that's very much a feature of bygone community.
Next live stream, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, for a nice time, call Dave and put your cock in this hole. Like, you just don't see that anymore, do you? You never see this anymore. It is a shame, Russ.
With an arrow
yet another thing that mobile phones have ruined.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so
suck your particulars. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought maybe a big sciencey space station lab in space with greenhouses and other science.
So the problem with setting it in space is that really limits what we can put.
And also, no one can hear you scream.
A space elevator.
Down to Earth. So it's basically on a space station that is around Earth.
You could set it in a science lab, but I don't think in space.
This complete side note, has there been a sci-fi film with a good space elevator in it?
No, there's been a video game with a very good space elevator in it, which of course gets destroyed and crashes down.
Doesn't Ad Astra have a space elevator in it?
Is that what he's working on at the start? Is that a space? I thought it was like an antenna thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's an antenna. I think you're right.
I mean, they're completely impossible.
I'll shut my stupid fucking mouth then.
They're like such a staple of sci-fi books, and they're in games quite a lot.
What about Charlie at the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
That's just a glass elevator, isn't it?
It does go into space.
I suppose it's space.
But it doesn't go. Yeah. It doesn't go up a line of any sort, does it? It can just fly.
Here in this elevator, Charlie, I can do whatever I want.
Anyway, we need to save this absolute gold for the sci-fi spin-off.
Yeah, true.
Shut up!
Right.
This is real.
So then it needs to be.
You're a special boy, Charlie.
On a lab with a greenhouse, doing some weird science above a temple that also happens to be a connection to some aliens.
Yeah.
On an island.
Which is on
an island.
And it's where
with a hotel.
The global warming crashed into the planet back in the first one. But people have forgotten.
But with the global warming came something more sinister.
So the film starts with scientists just like working around this giant crater. Like it's been fenced off.
The film starts with 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's the impact, and then you see like almost a time lapse of the labs being set up around it, and that's then when we see all the scientists working away.
Nice.
Yeah, and then from then on.
So they're like chipping away at the global warming, taking bits of it away to study.
Yeah,
and from then on, it kind of it separates into like things start escaping to different areas of the island.
Do you think maybe there's a shadowy government organisation trying to weaponise the global warming and use it to create super soldiers?
Yeah,
oh my god,
that's
there
why
totally is.
There is, and because of that, they cause a massive hole in the ozone layer to allow loads of UV through.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Triffids in because they are actually a terrifying thing.
You want them in? They're in.
They're in. It's not only in the film.
It's in the film. So
spoilers.
So this whole
we can't do that. If we did that, it would be monumentally irritating for the vast majority of people who haven't seen and loved that sketch. I mean, this would be the first episode to require actual homework for people.
Yeah,
that's true. So if
not saying we don't do it, I'm just pointing out that it's going to wind people up. I don't care about that.
So already am I beginning to feel like the head of the writers team in that group trying to bring everyone back on here. The hole in the ozone layer, which ironically was caused by the global warming to start with, is
as it punched through.
Yeah, it's now strengthening the global warming, and in that sort of way that, like in Ghostbusters, where the containment unit ruptures and it just sends that sort of pillar of shit into the air and all the ghosts start flying around.
Containment unit. What a genius idea. It has to be one of those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because we need a possession in there where something goes around going, let Jesus fuck you, let Jesus fuck you.
I think
so that's not only in the movie, it's in the movie.
so how okay no guys, we've got lots of ideas that are frankly gold that we've stolen from other films.
Absolutely.
But
everything about this is going to be stolen.
Yeah, if we start writing our own original strip, we're going to write some weird shit. So that's not going to happen.
So who is the hero of our movie?
Oh, there's only one person.
Who's the protagonist?
There's only one person this can be.
And that would be?
Bruce Campbell. Ash is surely the hero of this. It's a team of...
Is this Ash in the first Evil Dead, or is it the one where he just gets the chainsaw?
He's got a fucking chainsaw hand in this one.
So like, by that point, he's got enough sort of like metatextual weirdness going on. He's travelled in time and all sorts. He'll be able to deal with the fact that this is like 6 movies collapsing together into one singularity.
Yeah.
I think you would accept that as a less weird thing that he's ever come across.
Yeah, so I think Ash has to be part of the team. I think there's a team here.
We're going to have Ripley.
Well, there always is.
Ripley makes
sense.
We've
got to have a few people to get picked off, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, to be picked off. Hicks, surely.
So this is the thing, like, because what could happen is we could end up disappearing down the rabbit hole of like all the people that died in in films. So of course that's Hicks and all the other. So all the cloning Marines are there, and they all died.
Hicks never died.
Hicks never died.
Am I thinking of what?
No. You're thinking of the right thing. I'm just saying, like, are we going to have all the Colonial Marines? Because they're like cannon fodder, man.
I think the Colonial Marines are sent in there to deal with the situation.
They're the initial response that everyone is like confident will sort this out, and they all get slaughtered.
Yes, and it's again only Ripley, Newt, and Hicks that survive.
Yeah, that survive, and then nothing happens to them at the beginning of the next one.
No, exactly. Nothing happens, and they come back from Fury after having a little bit of a break on the windy, rainy prison planet.
Who's the Weasley prick from Aliens? I always get the names confused.
Carter Burke.
Burke. Yeah, he's got to die in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Maybe he's the one that has tried to weaponize the global warmings to take it back to company labs.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Who gets
I'm really not sure at what point in time this takes place.
Takes place between time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes between Ready Deadly 12 and Ready Deadly 14.
Yeah.
What's his name? The ship's captain in Jaws.
Quint.
Yeah. I think he should be in it.
Quint? What?
Quint.
Quint. Quint. It's Quint. It is Quint, isn't it?
Quint.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I spent a lot of time Googling Michigan today, so that's why okay, Quint, but what Quint's, I mean, he's like your stereotypical I'm going to hunt a big fish guy, isn't he, though?
Yeah, he's Ahab, basically, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right, so this is.
But, I mean, we could definitely do one of those.
Well, we could have Bruce in there.
Mm-hmm. He dies best in a water-related fish accident. So we'll have to engineer that somehow.
Plenty of scope for that.
He dies in such an awkward way.
Isn't the crater in the Antarctic?
We're not really sure where the crater. I don't think we specified where the global warming landed on Earth. I mean, it was actually stopped, wasn't it? This is clearly like an alternative timeline that we're in.
Maybe it was in the Cradle of Life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was down there in the. I can't remember what the name of the area is. Fucking the. Yeah. You know what scientists call the Cradle of Life, where they believe life started.
Like human life.
Yeah, like human life.
Sort of like African plateaus and grasslands.
You talking about my sock drawer?
Yeah, well, there's plenty of life growing there. Well, no, I'm just thinking, like, I don't want to say let's have global warming slowly taking over Sri Lanka or something like that. It'd be easy to maybe it's Cuba.
Africa is fine.
Didn't global warming take out Paris? Wasn't that what we decided?
Well, Paris always gets destroyed in these movies.
Exactly, yeah.
So like a little bit of global warming falls off early and destroys Paris.
Well, surely it would be best set in Japan then, because also Tokyo gets destroyed regularly.
Guys, we're missing an obvious trick here. Surely global warming's split and has been seen now all over the world. Mm-hmm. We can do all kinds of different global warmings.
Okay, cool.
This is like a global horror.
Global warming.
A global.
This is
global
warming.
Truly global.
Exactly.
This is a global warming.
Exactly.
So how does the horror element come into this? Because obviously, what I like the idea of is that the global warming takes on sort of a Skynet-esque infiltration of human life, like from Terminator 3, which is one of the worst. It's the best of the shit Terminator films, if you like.
Well, so I think the global warming is sort of, it's got like, there's a main creature of some sort, but it's also sending out other things to do some nasty.
Yeah.
So we need our team of heroes, and then we also need a menagerie of things that are going to stalk them and whittle them off one by one.
So
I think a deviant, as there's a dark organisation trying to harness and harness global warming, but really it's actually the global warming controlling this organisation to help enhance and improve the global warming.
Yeah.
And because there's got to be a science mistake that releases this kind of weird outbreak.
Oh no, there's been a science mistake.
It's just called a science mistake as well, yeah.
And the reveal scene has to be some guy in front of a board, like a whiteboard, filled with maths. And at one point he suddenly realised, like one of his students drops the coffee cup, like, you know, realising he's Kaiser Soze, and goes, "You forgot to carry the 1."
Yeah.
And one...
And all the screens start going, science mistake, science mistake.
Yeah.
And trying to get into the facility to find out. Trying to get into the facility to find out what's going on is the guy who releases all the ghosts in Ghostbusters.
Yes,
yeah.
Walter
Pencil
Peck.
Dick.
Walter Peck. Dickless here. Yeah.
Dickless here. Is this true?
I'm
yes,
just
this is true.
down
this man has no penis.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And like it then cuts to him and you hear and then
containment field ruptured. There's been a science mistake in progress.
Yeah.
So you know in Resident Evil when you do see the whole building shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the film isn't great, but that bit is spooky. That is good.
I don't hate the first Resident Evil film.
Me either. I love it, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's got fuck all to do with Resident Evil, apart from some character names. But apart from that, yeah, it's pretty good.
Although it is set under an evil residence, isn't it? I can't claim any credit for that joke. That is 0 punctuations.
And we got to have some of that team in because they get picked off as well. That's actually
okay. We can't have every team from every horror film involving army soldiers, because otherwise it will just be
army soldier.
The army.
Okay, so I've got someone that I want on the team.
Stick with it.
Super army soldiers.
I've got someone I want on the team.
Actual SAS people have told me what it stands.
Yeah. That's what.
Do you think I need? Do you think I need arms like this just to be an actor? I'm sorry. Anyway, Ross Kemp, amazing.
Yeah.
Is Ross Kemp's on the team? Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
He's documenting everything with Danny Dyer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ross. You were.
On the team, I want Hannibal Lecter.
He's on the bad team.
No, he's on the good team.
Oh shit! He's getting in the mind of the global warming.
Yeah. Well. Or is he just trying to eat the rest of the team? You don't know. But so he is genuinely one of the so I'm not a big scary movies guy, so I don't tend to watch loads of them. But I watched Silence of the Lambs when I was far too young, and Hannibal Lecter is genuinely one of the scariest creatures in film, unless you watch the later ones where they try and humanize him and give him a backstory, which you shouldn't do.
The first time you see him, the first time Clarice sees him, when he's just standing in the middle of the room. It's
terrifying. He's at his scariest when he is locked up in an incredibly secure room, because he can still do basically whatever he wants to just by being super smart. So I want him on the team. We're not 100% sure what his motivations are. Are people going to end up missing their livers? Do we
want the nonce from Con Air then on this team if he's there as well?
Yes,
Steve
please.
Yeah,
please.
The nonce that gets cured by having a doll's tea party with a little girl.
Yeah.
And then is the comic relief by the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not? Eh? Like it's not the most tone deaf thing Michael Bay's done. Have you seen his latest offering?
No. Oh my god! Yeah, have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's the most tasteless thing I've ever seen.
He has done a film that is 4 years on from the coronavirus and it's mutated.
It's now COVID-23.
Yeah.
That film very much feels like it would have been written already and they've just changed the name of the disease and rushed it into production.
I thought someone was taking the piss.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought someone was taking the piss. Even when I was watching the trailer, I thought someone was taking the piss.
Can I ask?
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this podcast?
Why?
Because it sounds like Michael Bay has already written
this film. Yeah. No, we're going to do a better job. So far we have the global warming's been released into the world. Like they've been experimenting on global warming, and whatever hideous creatures they've been manufacturing in the facility have now been released onto the world.
I see. So they've been using the global warming in genetic experiments as well as dimensional experiments.
Yeah.
So
what are some of the best creepy critters from horror movies?
Critters, specifically critters.
Well, we seem to be going down a quite a creature-based route, but let's not limit it to that. Anything scary?
Well, there is. I mean, I'm going to say there's a good psychological thing, which is come to I mean, we've got to have Freddy. We've got to have Freddy Krueger.
I thought we were sticking with critters for the time being, though.
No. It can be anything.
But I like the idea of the hero nonce fighting. Fighting the evil nonce.
Yeah, I don't think many people are going to watch this film.
A bold stance to be taking. Yes, that's right. Press conference. You heard me correctly. Hero nonce.
Did you not hear me say that he's a good nonce?
Is anyone else? Is anyone else getting overtones of intergalactic cable here? Yeah. Like, just it feels really loose. Like, you know what I mean? It feels really fast and loose. Like there's a sort of almost improvisational feel to this.
Actually, can we have Terry?
like we hadn't planned in any way whatsoever?
Yeah.
Can we have Scary Terry on the team?
Guys. There's a million ideas coming in a second. We've got to fit them into this Connect 4 game that we call Redly Deadly 13, Redly Deadly the 13th.
I mean, if you're wanting critters, you could just have the critters from Critters.
Nailed it. Yeah, there you go.
Or is that too obvious?
Yeah, I mean, why are we going low budget? This isn't real. Let's get the fucking Gremlins in.
What about Gremlins? What about the Gremlins?
We need
from
Tremors.
the film Gremlins.
Yeah.
We need the Tremors.
Once again, just like how do these fit into the thing?
Well, the various locations, aren't they?
Otherwise,
so
we're just listing things that we like in films.
Yeah, but so the global warming is global because it's global warming global.
Yeah. We make a point of that about 5 times throughout the film, I reckon, as well. Yeah.
And so in more desert climates, you've got the Tremors. In moist climates, you've got the Gremlins, or in urban areas because they're scavengers. And I can't remember where critters live, but wherever critters
they're from
live.
space, I think. Let's go chronologically though. Okay, so we have had.
Well, we need the Triffids.
The Triffids have been. They've been experimented on as part of global warming. There as well. Global warming.
The Eden Project gets taken over in Cornwall, and basically, southwest England gets taken over, and then we can't stop them because of global warming. And the only safe refuge is a small part of Scotland.
So I was thinking on an island.
In the sea.
Well, yeah. So on an island off the coast of Scotland, they've set up this facility.
Yeah.
To experiment on global warming, to turn them into something they can use. And as you say, like they're looking at the board and they drop the board mark and go, "You forgot to carry the 1," and then
science mistake. Yeah.
And as Peck is trying to find out what's going on, and then there's a rumbling, and then you see the explosion.
Yeah, and the big column of light and swirling fog shoots up from the global warming.
The film then starts 2 years after this event.
So we haven't actually started yet.
No, this is the intro. Then it comes up, Redly Deadly 13, Redly Deadly the 13th.
Redly Deadly 13,
so, and now it's
all the
about.
Action happens on the 14th.
yeah. And now it's about dealing with the after effects of the release of the global warming, and the variety of different things. And like, there's one scientist, so we're going to need a scientist from a horror film. Any thoughts?
Scientist from a horror film.
Well, I mean,
28 days later or something.
You don't really see any of the scientists in that, though, do you?
You do right at the start. It's what's his name? David Schneider.
It is, yeah. But
gets his face bitten off by a monkey.
Is Independence Day?
Oh, sorry.
Is Independence Day a horror film? I mean, I guess. Oh, it's sci-fi.
We've got one recurring character. I think has been in all of these.
Yeah, he's been in every Redly Deadly so far.
He's got to be in it
because Jeff Goldblum actually, The Fly is a horror film. And he was a scientist in The Fly.
And what if he's been experimenting on himself with the global warming?
This was my thinking.
Does he turn into a fly or something else?
Yeah.
Does Jeff Goldblum turn into various different types of Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, throughout films. He turns into the one that can stand his husky-voiced friend.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jeff.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Jeff, you gotta stop experimenting on yourself.
Oh my God, my cat. I've left it in the apartment, Jeff.
My cat's now Cujo, Jeff.
I gotta call my mother, Jeff. Love it. Brilliant. Well, we've done it.
So, Jeff Goldblum he's experimenting himself on this. He doesn't turn into a fly.
Mm-hmm.
He turns into the Thing.
Amazing.
Which can then mimic other things.
Love it.
Okay.
Excellent.
And he's kind of been keeping this to himself while trying to work it all out.
So someone at some point has to get an inkling. They have to find almost like all of his rejected fillings somewhere, like, you know, in the bottom of a shower or something like that.
Mm. Yeah, I love it.
Almost like he's the only one that can save the world, but he's also being slowly eaten by the global warming from the inside.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know how that fits into the plot.
Right, I'm just looking up crazed mad scientists in horror films. There is Dr. Philip Chenard in Hellbound, which is Hellraiser 2.
You could have Marlon Brando as Dr. Moreau as well.
Or
his little friend Kevin.
A variety of people as Dr. Frankenstein as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Peter Cushing did a good Frankenstein, didn't he?
Yeah, Peter Cushing did a good everything horror related, pretty much. So him and Christopher Lee. So what that's led to is a number of global events. Jeff Goldblum is trying to figure out how to solve the problem, and this will be like as all of these have been, like, you know, like the Valentine's Day, New Year's Day type film where there's loads of different storylines that are loosely interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we can get all this in.
Okay. So one of the weirdnesses that I want to happen, and it's going to be slightly logistically tricky, but one of the things that the global warming sort of spawns is the ship, the Event Horizon.
Oh God, yeah, I love that.
Which is going to be creeping around, freaking people out, and generally getting people to hurt themselves in weird ways.
They're experimenting on global warming, the effects of global warming in space.
Mm-hmm.
Or
maybe like the global warming sends out a signal or something.
Yeah.
But I want the Event Horizon to be down on Earth, creeping about and wrecking shit up.
I don't want that.
I mean, the global warming has come from a future event because it's gone through with the Event Horizon. And like in Star Trek, when the new Star Trek, first new one, whatever, where the two ships come at separate times, you've got the Romulan appearing, then you've got Spock appearing later. Then that is the same thing. You've got the global warming appearing, and then suddenly the Event Horizon appears.
Either that or that's just like in the epicenter of the global warming.
What's Sam Neill's character called? He's a scientist.
Dr. Weir.
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
He is a scientist.
He is a scientist.
Oh my God.
He's also crazy terrifying in that movie.
He's been working with Jeff Goldblum the whole time to try and get back to the Event Horizon, like, which is in the center of the ground zero of the global warming outbreak.
Oh, and he's got to do that speech as well, hasn't he? Where he just, you know, where we're going, you won't need eyes to see.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you see?
So, 2 years on, the island has been quarantined. Okay. But people now believe the only way to deal with the problem is to worship the global warming ground zero.
So this is.
I, for one, welcome our new global warming overlords.
And people and there's been a community that's moved onto the island that worship.
Sounds like a good idea.
Worship the global warming.
I mean, I don't want to get bogged down in facts because that's never stopped us before.
Yeah.
We could set it on Mull because there's already people living there.
No, it's set on the island of Summerisle.
There is a Summer Isle.
There are in the Wicker Man as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole small group of islands called the Summer Isles.
Okay, so there's a community set up there that worship what they believe is a pagan god, the Event Horizon in the epicenter of global warming.
Nice.
Okay, and they are willing to do anything for their crops to succeed, and for them, they will do anything for their god, which is now this epicenter.
Yeah,
including sacrificing.
This year's harvest will fail.
Yeah, including sacrificing virgin policemen.
Yeah,
Do
nice.
we have also Joseph Hito, who is the evil doctor in Human Centipede?
We'll definitely work him in somewhere. Definitely, yeah.
Working and going, I'm creating the ultimate sacrifice.
I mean, that is quite evil, isn't it? Sewing people together. That is quite evil.
Broadly considered to be, yeah.
So on this island is this community that have that lure policemen or virgin policemen to spoiling the end of Wicker Man. There's a fucking Wicker Man in it, and someone dies in the Wicker Man. I mean, come on. It's called the Wicker Man. So yeah, and it's done. It's this big wooden effigy. So yeah.
Of a man.
Sorry, I'm gonna get my favorite horror film in there somewhere. So yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So you have to get past them to get back to the epicenter because they are devout.
It's nice. They're almost like the children of Atom, aren't they? Sort of in the epicenter of the nuclear crater outside of Boston. I quite like that.
So Jeff Goldblum's doing sciencey stuff with Dr. Weir from the Event Horizon. And they've got to go traveling across the world to explore all the weirdness that's now happening. Where's the first place that we want them to go?
Paris was the first place to get destroyed by global warming. So I think they start their journey there.
Can I add something as well? Then, they need...
They need some of the original global warmings.
Yeah.
To try and reverse engineer a cure.
Exactly.
I think this is where
a vaccine.
They need to bring in a controversial doctor, which is Duncan's fella from Human Centipede.
Mm-hmm. Who can
this
stitch together
guy's
the
a
cure.
bit of a maverick.
Yeah. He's a bit of a wild card.
He's a bit of a wild card. His methods are not,
He gets results. That's all that matters right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's always like there's a sort of a an overboss of these kind of teams of scientists sent out. It's like I don't know. I've heard some stuff about this guy. Like but, okay, you're accountable for him. Okay, he gets out of line and starts sewing people's faces to people's bums. You stop him. Okay.
Is Dr. Lecter actually the overseeing this all?
He's the other one they've got to bring in. It's like a Suicide Squad of like.
Evil scientists.
Yeah.
The most inappropriate team of people to save the world ever. Because, I mean, Hannibal Lecter's...
a cannibal. There's got to be a joke there where he's going, "Oh, so you like to eat arse too?"
Yeah.
That's a bit below Dr. Lecter's sense of humour.
No, he's being asked that by... whatever.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his arse.
I sewed his arse to somebody else's face.
Yeah. Yeah. With some fava beans and a fine pale ale.
Gigantic.
It's more Bruce Forsyth than Hannibal Lecter.
Yes.
Nobody does that noise remotely right because it's not very funny if you do it properly. But if you go...
I can't even do it. I mean, it's just... I can't even remember what he does. He just
sort of goes...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, Paris. What they're doing in Paris?
Getting the original source.
Yeah, getting the original... Or maybe
original
like there's
source,
a
the,
core
body
of
wash.
there's a core of anti-global warming.
100% lime.
Mine through to
100% mint.
Yeah,
No one's
mint and
been-
tea tree original.
Oh,
No one's been able to get an active sample.
and it's in the,
It's on my balls.
and
I got it
either,
on my arsehole.
and it's
it's
either,
okay because there's somebody else's face sewn to it.
Yeah. Oh, don't drink it. No matter how good it smells, don't drink it.
Oh my god.
So either
Sorry, anyway.
they're
Sorry,
going
Duncan's
in-
trying to make a valid contribution here.
Yeah.
Really, is anything about this valid?
Is it about eating arse?
No.
Okay, go on.
So either when they go in, they get attacked by critters.
You really want to bring critters into this, I've noticed.
You brought up critters. You said critters.
No,
You
I
said
said
we
what
need
I meant by critters was literal critters, not the film Critters.
All right. The other thing is that they go in and they actually find a whole nest of global warming. So it's basically the eggs of global warming, and with that,
My God, the global warming is breeding.
Yes.
And it's either.
And Jeff Goldblum goes, "Life finds a way." Then he gets eaten by something.
And either
Hannibal Lecter.
something similar to
At his
a
arse.
face hug. It's either a face hugger or an arse hugger. I don't know.
Well, with the human centipede guy around, it's a bit of both at once, isn't it?
Wraps round the arse. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Sorry. Face huggers, you were saying. It makes more sense.
Either that or it's something else. I don't know.
Well, there's another sort of horror, and I do consider the film it seems to be a horror film, classic, that I'd like to be sort of stalking them. So they're in like the catacombs underneath Paris, very twisty, turny passages, very dark, and all round them, stalking them at every turn, is Bruce the shark from Jaws.
Like going down. And you know when he's going to be there because you hear the music.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's got his own orchestra with him as well. Not very much water down there, but we're not going to let that worry us. He's walking around on his fins.
I think at some point we need to have a Jurassic Park-esque fight between Bruce and one of the worms from Tremors.
Yeah. Graboids, they call them, don't they?
They're called graboids, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Side note, Tremors is a fucking magnificent movie.
It really is a good film.
Mm-hmm.
First one is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's no good Tremors sequels.
Do we want an almost global presence of The Mist from The Mist?
Or The Fog from The Fog. We can have one or the other, not both.
Or The Phantoms from Phantoms.
Yeah.
Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms. Yeah, he was the bomb in Phantoms. Oh, man.
Yeah. Have you seen that film?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He's pretty good in it.
Oh no, I've seen Phantoms. No, I thought you meant the latest Jay and Silent Bob.
No, that's good as well.
Yeah, Jodie won't let me watch it.
Why?
Oh, just because she doesn't want to watch it. I'll have to wait until she's in bed and quietly watch it.
And watch it loudly in bed.
Okay, so they're in Paris.
Yeah.
They've gotten their little sample of the original global warmings that fell off and nuked Paris.
But one of them's been infected by a face hugger.
One of them has been infected by a fucking face hugger because the global warmings has started, like Duncan said, it's a nest in there, and the ovomorphs have started to grow, or people, the population of Paris, started to egg morph into the eggs. Some random unsuspecting, space trucker got a face hugger on his face, and that's it. That's the first one out, and then from there it was all just chaos, absolute chaos. But all the aliens are doing what they do in Aliens. They build a big hive and then they hide in the walls. They've been staying there, like Richmond in the IT crowd, up in the top of the kitchen. That's where they are. They're all like that, waiting. And so, which one of our team gets infected? Do we think it's Dr. McFace to ass?
Yeah,
there'd be a nice irony to that, wouldn't there?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's the way. Yeah, he'll get infected.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
So he gets infected. But how long until? I mean, obviously he's infected now.
I don't think he gets a chest burster. I think they do just mutate.
Well, so something's going to burst out of him, but what will it be? So we need another horror creature or something to burst out of him.
What about one of
scuttle
the
off.
film? What about one of the critters from the film Critters?
Or what about some
Dan,
fog
stop-
from the film The Fog?
So something else that I'd really like to get in here,
The fog.
which really, really, really shut me up. The stalker things from Resident Evil 4 with the noises and the
So he
sparks that come out of
gradually
them.
becomes one of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're the
Regenerators, that's it.
Yeah.
The regenerators, yeah.
Don't you have
Although
to
to be fair, if we're going to have some games as well, some of the cordyceps, fungus, clickers, and things like that from Last of Us would make a really sort of interesting one, especially along with Duncan's love of trippids. You know, mutating fungus, mutating plants. Feels
I was
like
thinking one of the stops should be one of the pyramids in Cambodia, because I know it's not brilliant, but it's still sort of a horror film. It was still wiggy enough for me, which was Alien versus Predator, because I would like a Predator in there, because the first Predator movie is kind of action horror, you know.
We've mentioned Alien already. My next port call wasn't going to be Alien versus Predator. We can have Predator in there still.
Yeah, and the only thing I liked about Alien vs Predator was the concept of the pyramids, and I think the Cambodian, those kind of step pyramids, like the Aztec pyramids, are pretty spooky.
What about a scientist predator with like a lab coat and glasses?
Well, they must have scientists. Like they're a space-going civilization, aren't they?
Absolutely. Someone invented it. They didn't just stumble upon it. You know, someone made it, and it's like, you know, specky predator. It's basically me, but a predator.
The scariest Predator was the last one, because it was scary that I managed to get all the way through that fucking film.
Oh, that was fucking shite, wasn't it?
Awful. Just awful. The last Predator film, the last Alien film.
And the last Terminator film. They can all fuck.
Which one was the last Predator? The last Predator, is that the one with Adrian Brody in it?
No, this is the one with Thomas Jane in.
Yeah.
And it's the guy, one that's the guy that's too cool for school. And he's like, he's going to fight the alien. He's going to fight the Predator. And the whole film, I'm just going, please kill him. Please just kill him. He's so annoying. Yeah, it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I was talking about the original Army one.
Yeah, no, that's the way to go. Yeah, definitely.
Because that was kind of scary.
It's not necessarily... It's not... Yeah, it is. Because that thing seems unstoppable throughout most of that film.
Yeah. Also means we can get Carl Weathers into the mix as well.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Baby, you got a stew going on.
Yeah. So Carl Weathers is in then. Yeah. As a scientist.
/ cook.
Yeah.
So many signs.
Yeah, everyone in this is a
They're all
scientist.
scientists. Everyone's a scientist. Or a monster, or a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's a scientist / action hero in this,
Are we going a bit Gears of War here, where everyone is like, what's his name, Phoenix?
Where you can...
Phoenix is like...
A world where you can believe that his dad is a scientist, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Despite being a perfectly rectangular human.
Do you know what's already making me really sad? What? Is that Steven Seagal at no point ever did a horror film.
Oh, he did.
He did some films that were horrors.
No, he did, but that you just didn't hear about them because he'd already moved on to the next film by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next film where he wears an oversized leather jacket.
If you ever
holds his arm out while stuntmen run into it and bounce off it.
If you get off the Seagal coaster, it's hard to get back on. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's hilarious though, isn't it? Have you seen any of those videos of him doing like what does he do? Aikido demonstrations in Russia. It's incredible, man. Like literally these really trained, super fit people run at him and you see them stop for a moment while Seagal does something. And they literally just run at him one at a time, and he just then, walks off with this look of like self-satisfied, sort of smugness, as though he's like taken on all these guys that were trying. It's like, see, it wasn't just acting. Like, fucking hell, man, how deluded is that?
Yeah.
That wanker. Sorry, Stephen. Big fan of Under Siege. Obviously.
He was walking down the stairs at a convention when I was walking up. And I was like, now's my moment.
Yeah.
Now's when I should attack Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Just to see what would happen. I didn't. I carried on walking.
Carried on walking. Did he look at you with those like, yeah, just a cook, huh?
He's another cook. There we go.
He goes,
Yeah.
chef.
Except he's never been in a horror film, so he's not in this.
No.
No.
Although he was an environmental protection agent, wasn't he? He was an EPA officer in one of his films about a nuclear holocaust or something, or nuclear waste dumping or something.
Yeah,
bullshit.
he's still not been in a horror film. We can't have him in this.
Fair enough.
No, sorry, Big Steve.
Yeah.
Piranha. Not Piranha.
Yeah, Piranha was the films with Kelly Brook in the first one, wasn't it?
And Piranha, what was it?
3D.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
double D.
Oh yeah, 3 double D. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one
Well,
was
see.
called Piranha 3D.
Yeah, it was a different
Yeah.
time. It was a different time.
We've mentioned like all the real heavy hitters so far, haven't we? Piranha, Critters.
Are we getting
Yeah.
Jason in there? Like,
There
is
we
he
go.
gonna
Now we're
be-
talking.
are we gonna?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be a hero or is he gonna be a villain?
So, he's a
Difficult
villain.
to work as a hero, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, so.
Yeah, but we've got something that.
Let me introduce you to another member of our science team. Don't ask him about the mask. He wears that all the time, but he's a lovely guy once you get to know him.
Dr. Jason Voorhees, yeah.
but my God, does he get results?
It's just him, just like pointing at like a board, like with a
machetes.
With a massive
with
knife.
a machete, just like carving holes into the board.
And then a whole round of everyone standing up there. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
questions him, and he just goes up and stabs him.
His methods may be unorthodox.
Just hear him out, all right? And the guys just fall into the
just
ground.
hear him out. There's always got to be a scene where someone does that. Just hear him out, okay?
Yeah.
Right now, this guy's the only guy I can trust.
It's just crazy enough to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking a bit of global warming falls off and lands in Camp Crystal Lake long after Jason has died, resurrecting him to go and then torment Camp Crystal Lake.
Yes, too.
You think they'd probably have closed that camp
Piranha's
after
dead,
the
yeah,
second
sure.
or third massacre, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but then to be fair, is there a higher calling than slaughtering teenagers? I mean, you're always going to need that guy.
Slaughtering scientist teenagers.
There you go, slaughtering scientists,
Yeah,
teenagers.
they're all scientists.
Okay, so the mechanism by which these sort of big bads like you know Jason and all that sort of stuff, Jason, Freddy, maybe Chucky from the Child's Play films. You know, this is all kind of their They're physical manifestations of the worst elements of the original global warming strike.
Or
on
they could have been
Paris.
directly experimented on, of course.
So they're individuals that have become these. Yeah.
Like Chucky is a toy that's been experimented on with global warming.
Wasn't Freddy? He was burnt alive. So he actually rises on the original island where the experiment went wrong, because that's where the Wicker Man happened, and he rises and
They burn him because he's a nonce.
Yeah,
Not a good nonce.
Not the good nonce. I just don't know whether this is something we should be pursuing.
No, I think we get rid of that idea. I think that's a terrible idea.
well, that's because someone brought it up from Con Air. So
What's that?
hey,
It's been that for a while, hasn't it?
not too
Yeah, it has. But the news below is that CNN,
Yeah.
CNN are projecting Michigan for Biden.
Yeah.
They are now, because he got Wisconsin, didn't he?
Yeah, so this count doesn't include Michigan on the tally, and that will significantly boost
It's
Biden.
another 10, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's November the 4th, and this is going to seem either pedestrian or utterly tragic by the time this is actually released.
because in a couple of months' time we might be listening to it after dictator Trump has taken over. So yeah.
yes, to make glorious impacts on future of great nation.
So-
Okay, so
There's another serial killer that I find very, very scary that I'd like to get into this. There's the Zodiac Killer. Tricky to do because you never see them or know who they are.
Something that makes me sound like a horrible person. But I'll reword how I was going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
The Zodiac is the serial killer that I find the most interesting.
I mean, it is interesting.
He had a
It's
fucking
not-
costume.
Oh, is that in the movie or the actual Zodiac?
No, the dude had like a full on like
Yeah, but
executioner's mask and like sunglasses.
But I thought at one point they thought the Zodiac Killer could also be multiple. There was a theory that wasn't it that the Zodiac Killer might actually be multiple.
There's always a theory that it's multiple people doing copycats.
The most likely thing they reckon is the guy that they interview and then let go in the movie Zodiac. They reckon that was him in real life.
That movie, by the way, ends with him at the hardware store, doesn't it? Just quietly packing stuff away into a bag.
The film's fucking great as well.
It's very good, yeah. It's
so scary.
Yeah,
when
so
you see him just
I found that
to.
movie incredibly frightening.
Yeah.
Like unsettling as well. Yeah. You are not relaxed for a single moment watching that film.
No.
It's amazing.
So good. And I say the Zodiac was more like a supervillain as well. He had the cryptographs, and then he had the executioner's mask with the logo, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm with that.
Do we discount him because he's real?
Well, I'm going with the character of the Zodiac Killer from the movie Zodiac.
Okay, but I mean, it's heavily based on what actually happened. David Fincher doesn't fuck around with this shit.
What, are you saying that all these other things we talked about aren't real?
Sorry. I mean, I'm glad.
Aliens are real, aren't they?
Yeah. And the I gotta call my mother guy, he's real.
Yeah, he's definitely real.
I'm okay to have the Zodiac in it, but I love the idea that only like Hannibal Lecter knows who he is and where he is.
Yeah, Hannibal Lecter definitely works out who he is.
Yeah. And then but the guy never takes his mask off.
And Hannibal never tells.
Yeah. Hannibal
don't worry, Clarice, I can keep him under control.
But the Zodiac Killer is also a scientist, so he's wearing a mask but also a lab coat.
Yep. Yep, obviously.
Oh, but we don't see him. He's basically off screen the whole time.
Sometimes you just got to trust Dr. Zodiac. Yeah, cool. Love it. Right. So, we've got our team of serial killers up against other serial killers. Mm-hmm. I was thinking Michael Myers is someone that's been injected with global warming.
Just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
It turned him into an immortal, machete-wielding, mask-wearing maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then also someone else was experimented on and turned into Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And can pervade people's dreams.
Freddy Krueger was the nonce that was burnt in the Wicker Man.
At the
Bad nonce.
Oh,
yeah.
Bad nonce. Yeah.
At ground zero of global warming, and that's how he is merely dust, but he's able to come back in people's dreams.
Yeah. That's how he spreads around the world.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that, Duncan. That was all you, buddy.
We've got to have Godzilla.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, better global warming gets on a lizard. Godzilla.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Because Tokyo, we got the ring. We've got to have Japan in
Bit of global warming gets on a TV.
Yeah.
The ring.
I feel like you're lacking in energy when it comes up to these creature development paths now. Yeah, a bit of global warming gets on it. Fucking sort it.
Bit of global warming lands on a fish and turns it into Cloverfield.
Yeah. Bit of global warming on an ape. King Kong.
Mm-hmm. King Kong. Nice. Yeah. What other big
bit of global warming on a fossil of a dinosaur. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. Definitely.
I'll tell you what, it's kind of written itself, hasn't it now?
Yeah, but I don't think it's fooling. Someone's going out. It's the Zodiac. Zodiac is going out and doing this.
Oh, you reckon Zodiac's? Oh my god, I love this. Yeah. Zodiac's the one that's like released all this, and he's sending cryptographs.
And it turns out
to a TV studio, and there's the bit where the fax comes through, and he looks at it, and he goes,
"Well, I'm gonna need to get my friend on this one."
Yeah. And what does it say? Something like, "My first is in A, but not as in Apple. My second is in B, but not as in global warming.
That's some global warming on shit.
Yeah, my 8th is in Z, but not in Zodiac. Tee. Is that how cryptographs work?
No.
That's riddles, isn't it?
Yep, that's a riddle. Okay, yeah. So the Zodiac is orchestrating all of this.
Awesome.
Love it.
Right. I'm done. That's the movie done. I'm off to put some cowboys in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. Okay, so
I always imagine Star Magic Jackson is our co-pilot in all of this.
Yeah.
Star Magic Jackson Jr.
Is our co-pilot. I'm
Yes.
totally watching that after this as well.
You just said noun and gremlin.
Noun and gremlin.
You're a child. You have the mind of a child. You do not have a high IQ. Okay, so how do we wrap this all up then? What do the science team discover that ends this film?
Well, they've got to defeat global warming in some way, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or at least think they have, because the baddie always comes back.
So we've got to have Dustin Hoffman, because he's a scientist, in Outbreak. I did find Outbreak terrifying.
Me too. I still do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is scary. Well, especially now.
Do you know why it's scary?
Because it's true. Everything.
All of this.
Yeah, all of this that's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Interior decorating.
And how they rush through the vaccine in Outbreak is problematic, but it fits in because it's like they test it on Rene Russo, and it works.
Yes, because she gets it, and then he fucking kisses her.
Yeah.
And then they let Kevin Spacey die, and that's okay, because he's a bad nonce.
Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Back then it wasn't. But now it is.
Yeah.
But we could lead it to.
It's always been okay, actually. No, it's always been okay.
To what, burn Kevin Spacey?
Well, apparently he's been doing it for ages, so it's always been all right to do that. It's like Jimmy Savile. It's always been okay to think he was really fucking creepy and disgusting, because even back in the day, Ian Hislop said, even when people thought he was amazing, and he was sat next to me on Have I Got News for You, I was sitting there going, ugh. Like, yeah.
Johnny Rotten claimed that that's the real reason he got banned from the BBC, was because he knew.
I've seen those, because he wasn't unwilling to say it.
Yeah.
And the BBC didn't like that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of believable.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But I was going to say...
If we just steer back from the nonce chat.
Yeah.
Unless you really wanted a bit where actually there is still some secretive cult membership going on, because they take it back, secure the island, and they think it's all over, but it's not, and there is still a secret chamber where some people are still worshipping.
Yeah.
And then
but that's like right at the end. That's what we see like after the credits. That's
it's like someone goes back to their like wicker house, and they open a little box, and there's like a pink glow of global warming in there, and someone comes in and they shut the box.
Oh, I was going to say, talking about Kevin Spacey's character dying, you could just have that chained up, about to be burnt.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do they? So I do have an idea of how they defeat the global warming.
Yeah.
The science team, the ones that survive, they make it to the ancient alien lab underneath a Mayan pyramid, where they find the original, the first green Blue Peter badge, which is what they used to defeat the global warming.
Yes.
Unless this is where they find 5 rings under under there, and they give them there are instructions to give them to 5 international teenagers. And only Clapton
Planet.
Clacton Planet. Only Captain Planet can defeat global warming.
Nice.
And that's all I got. He's not really in a horror, and that's the Captain Planet spin-off from this as well. So
yeah,
Clacton Planet.
Clacton Planet.
But is it the 5 rings turn Jeff Goldblum instead of into a fly into Captain Planet? Because, and I mean Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, because he's got the body.
Yeah, he's already not wearing much.
Bigger
like Captain Planet. Yeah.
Can I put forward an idea for the end?
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence,
So, like, post-credit sequence. It's just snow, and you move further and further in, and you see the Outlook Hotel.
Ooh.
And like you go down the corridors with the distinctive carpet. You hear the music, and then you peek through like the keyholes in like all the doors, and each one you'll see like Norman Bates in one of them. Then you'll move on, and you'll see the critters from Critters 2 in one of them.
And some fog from
and some
the fog.
From the mist, and some mist from the fog.
The mist, yeah. Mist or a fog.
You'll see someone watching a TV as like a girl with like long dark hair like walks towards him, and then gradually you'll go to the big function room with Jack Torrance just sitting there, just kind of like staring. Like it zooms in on him and staring at the camera. Yeah. No, not that one, but yeah, not yet. And then the next part of this spin-off is all set in that hotel.
Nice.
But it does, like the end of The Shining.
Yeah.
It zooms in on the photo, and there's Jack Torrance at the front of the photo and surrounded by all of the horror menagerie in that photo as well.
Yeah.
Daddy boy.
Yeah.
Daddy boy.
At the same time, I do kind of wish that there was the Weeping Angels, because of anything in I know we haven't.
Oh, they're badass. Man.
They could be in like the courtyard of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it'll move away like this one shot, and then when you move back, they've moved closer.
Yeah.
What do they do to you when they catch you? Those things.
They send you to a point in time that you can't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
But they feed off the energy.
Yeah. So like that's why they're so scary for the Doctor, is that like if he gets sent somewhere, he can't travel again. I think is the reason.
The thing is, like, you know, usually like with Doctor Who stuff, even in the modern series, like the monsters were all a bit like, you know, B-rated and stuff like that. The Weeping Angels are genuinely one of the most terrifying inventions in horror that has ever come to pass. They are utterly because they're based on cemetery gargoyles, aren't they? So you can never really go to a cemetery or a church these days without very consciously looking at the fucking statues the whole time.
Also, incredibly cheap to do as a special effect because they don't move.
Because they don't move. Well, and is there anything scarier than a Weeping Angel statue suddenly going from looking normal to, you know, covering their eyes to, you know, fucking going for you? I mean,
the only other Doctor Who thing that really terrified me were the Hemivores. It took me ages to find out what they were called, but the Hemivores.
Nah, Happiness Patrol for me. That fucking shit me up. That did.
What, Happy Patrols?
Happiness Patrol. It was basically evil Bertie Bassett.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hemivores. They were vampire zombies. Terrifying.
Oh come on! There's no picture of it. I want to see evil Bertie Bassett.
It's basically just Bertie Bassett.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, the Happiness Patrol. Yeah, it is literally with the licorice.
Yeah. Fucking terrifying when I was a kid.
Man.
But anyway, I think that would be more suitable for like a sequel kind of sequence.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's amazing. Evil Bertie Bassett.
What a great idea, though.
Christ.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That is nightmare fuel, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Right, so that one's in the movie as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's in the movie somewhere, yeah.
Is also, what's his name? Lawrence.
Fishburne?
Yeah, Fishburne. Is he actually going to be the one to sacrifice himself? Because it is such a good sacrifice scene. And that he thinks he saved everyone by doing his sacrifice. What,
to blow up the Event Horizon?
Sends himself to fucking hell, doesn't he? I mean,
to save everyone. And he does that. He sends himself to... where's hell?
Peckham.
Yeah.
Oh.
Middlesbrough, I don't know.
Putney.
Clacton.
Yeah, Clacton, with Clacton Planet. Oh, that's brilliant.
The Tory government. He sent himself into the depths of the Tory government to... Yeah.
Okay. So,
Cool.
So there we are.
Yeah.
Right. Dan, wrap this mother up.
No, Tom does this.
Tom, wrap this mother up.
So there, I thought I'd been demoted. I was like, oh. So there we go. That is Redley Deadly 13, Redley Deadly the 13th, the horror version. What's that?
Nice.
Nice.
Again, let's see how that pans out in a few days.
Jesus, man,
it's already out. It's already outdated.
It's already out of date.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the stream. If you were watching on YouTube, hello, goodbye. We're about to go in a minute. And if you're listening on the podcast, I hope you enjoyed this as well. If you think we missed out any of your favourite horror movie characters, heroes, or critters, then make sure you interact with us on our social media feeds. You can get us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter using the handle @TMTOOH. And don't forget that this has been the TMTOOH team. Dan, goodbye, Dan.
Bye.
Take your eyes away from the election results. Duncan, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Russ, goodbye.
Until next time.
Until next time. And it's goodbye from me, Tom. And on that note, we'll cue the very scary music.